We're too big of a draw in the States. So finally, 17th game, we got to come over.
I heard you speak on
I
Tuesday.
love that. That's incredible.
I heard you speak on Tuesday. Are you really committed to see the Lionesses tonight? Maybe Man City tomorrow?
I'm going to watch the U.S. national team tonight. But obviously, the Lionesses are the Euro champs, is that right? So it's a friendly, but hopefully it's competitive. Yeah, I want to get out and see the city a little bit. We obviously came here later in the week, so not as much time. Not sure about tomorrow. Tomorrow I might just relax a little bit.
Aaron, you spoke about knocking yourself out to get through the night. How was it for that? How's it been? How you feeling after practice?
I wore the wrong color socks. Wore black socks, and in the dark, and in the the bed made for probably a 6-foot person. I'm slightly above that. I got my feet hit a couple times, but no, overall it's good. I got some sleep, and I'm just going to try and stay up as late as possible tonight.
You've been in this league a long time. What have you made of the London games from afar? This is your first time experience.
I mean, I love the idea. I know there's talk years and years ago about a team in London, and I don't know if that's still in the conversation, but a lot of great venues around London. That's kind of why I wanted to go to Wembley, is because I've been a fan of that stadium and watching the Premier League for so long and seeing the derbies there, and obviously watching Palladium and watching all the concerts at Wembley. I've always dreamt of watching a big concert or a big soccer match at Wembley, so it'll be fun to be there. But the games have always been great. This is the first game between teams with the winning record, I believe, in London, which is even better. But it's about time we're here.
Aaron, teams in the US are owned by a club owner. The Packers have a special situation in the league, like soccer clubs in Europe. We talk about with the law. Can you explain why Packers are different in that regard?
We're not lining the pockets of a billionaire owner. We we don't have an owner. We're the only major North American sports team without a true owner. There's a lot of shareholders, but the team is really owned by the city, and it makes a really close bond between citizens of Green Bay and really the region, the state of Wisconsin, and the Packers organization. So it's really special bond. It's unique. I believe there's a team in a major sport in Europe that has a similar situation, but we're the only team in North America like that.
You ever bought some shares?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't buy one personally. I had one bought for me, which was cool. So I guess I own the team I play on.
Aaron, in the days leading up to game day, given the fact that you're now here in the UK, what changes do you have to make to sort of
Our practice schedule was way different today. It was more of a jog through. With the amount of sleep that certain people got and maybe the lack of sleep other people, we just wanted to be careful with our legs out there. Usually Friday is like a fast Friday, so it's 3 quick live periods. It was obviously the tempo was jog through today, which was different. There's a lot of analytics that goes into every decision, maybe too many at times, and common sense from time to time is the most important thing to follow, and I think we did a good job of following that today. It'll be important that we all take care of business and stay awake so we can get on the as close to possible on the time change here. But I feel good about the preparation we put in. We got 2 good days of work in Wednesday, Thursday before we flew out here yesterday, so feel good about where we're at.
And you know about the famous Lambo League. If
Yeah.
you find yourself in the end zone, would you be the first London League?
I might have to tag somebody in for me. I'm getting a little old for that. But I got to see the wall. I don't know how high the wall is. If it's above maybe 5 feet, I'd probably let one of the linemen go.
You're the player that so many people over here have famous as well practicing. What does it mean to you to find it in London?
Yeah, I'm excited. I've been a fan of the Premier League for a long time, so obviously I'm aware of what kind of fans that Europe and especially the UK has. Been a fan of many soccer players that have come over to the MLS. I had a random encounter with Steven Gerrard when he was playing for the Galaxy, and it was one of the rare times in life where I was starstruck. And we were just in like a shop in Beverly Hills. I was getting an outfit for the ESPYs or something, and I just was stunned. I was like, oh my God. And I looked around. I'm like, nobody, knows who he is. I think it must have been nice for him to be able to be over in the States and have some anonymity because of the fame that he has for his career over here. But on that note, I'm excited to be here. This has been something that we want to do for a long time, but like I said in the opener, we have a great fan base and we travel well, so it's hard for teams to want to give up a home game when Green Bay is coming to town. And obviously we play at one of the most iconic spots in all the sports at Lambeau Field. So it's nice to be here. The schedule, look, it's not a big deal. It's just fun to enjoy it. This is one of those games I think at the end of your career, when you think back on it, it's going to be a special moment to be able to play in front of the fans here.
So if you think the league has a full like Marshall Eagles over there if you go out there?
I think I'll probably be pretty good. Probably blend in pretty good.
Given the expectations of the crowd in a game like this, where I'm sure most of the stadium would probably like to see you air it out for the whole game, whereas as Matt was saying, maybe the run game will be prominent for both teams. Do you feel any sort of extra need or desire to go out and entertain the crowd in a game like this by airing it out a bit more, or does that not fit into it?
Yeah, hell yeah, of course. Yeah. Matt's kind of in a grumpy mood right now, so when he gets a little bit of rest, we'll be in a better mood. We'll talk about airing it out a little bit more. No good.
So one topic we talked about the last 2 weeks, and Pat McAfee show as well, is the glass fields and the synthetic fields.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Because you're playing at an artificial turf.
Yeah, we play a lot of those types of fields. I think it's interesting to look at some of the numbers around injuries on grass compared to artificial grass. They do a good job. I think the standard isn't the same across the ball. So I think if we're going to keep doing artificial grass, there needs to be maybe a little bit tighter standard uniformity, really on grass fields, I think, and on artificial grass. But Tottenham's pitch is obviously very important to them, and we'll play on whatever they put down.
Aaron, I can safely say on behalf of every UK Packer fan, we're so grateful and excited that you're here for the first time. You've been a huge inspiration to loads of people, especially some of the kids coming up with flag football as well. Do you have a specific message for the fans who are going to see you play for the first time ever on Sunday?
Be loud. Be loud. Show up. Be loud. It's exciting for all of us. A lot of guys, it's funny, I've been fortunate enough to do some traveling, but so many guys have never really left North America. Multiple guys I was talking to, maybe been to Canada, maybe been to Mexico, but never, gone across the Atlantic. So exciting for them to come over here. And I think it's, I've been around the world a little bit, and I've been to Packer bars in different countries. I went to one in Paris, and what it tells you is that this sport has a big reach, and I think it's a good perspective moment for all of our guys to see how special it is, the opportunity that we have to play a game that has worldwide reach. And it's the Super Bowl's broadcast in over 100 countries and millions of people. To just embrace that fact that this is so rare, to be able to come over, in a different country and entertain fans that are waking up early or staying up late watching our games and trying to put on a show for you guys.
All the attention that the NFL's been getting from the UK recently, Packers being a prime franchise in fact, how excited are you about the future of the sport in the UK?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's something that I think we need to keep doing. I think it'll be interesting to kick around a franchise at some point. I'm sure the league has had some conversations about that. It might make for some interesting travel issues with maybe West Coast teams at times, but it's fun to grow the game. We've played in Mexico. There's games in Canada. There's been games in obviously England. The NFL Europe used to be heavily in Germany, and everybody who played in that loved it, had a great time. The reach of the NFL is ever expanding, but I think we got something special in England with the games at Wembley and now the games at Tottenham. We're just excited to be here, and a lot of us who love to travel, we're kind of hoping for a Monday takeoff so we can enjoy, some food and some culture and maybe a Premier League game. But either way, we're excited to be here, and this is not just a normal road trip, even though the coaches speak as always, hey, we're here to win a game, yada, yada, yada. This is definitely more special.
Will you see the discount double check celebration at all?
I mean, I got to run one in, so we'll see. I haven't, I had a couple last year, but if I run one in, for sure.
You mentioned soccer. Follow a particular team.
City. They've been good to me. They send me a lot of kits, gear. They played at Lambeau this year. But yeah, I enjoy City. And honestly, I got into it watching the documentary about the team and enjoying just the way Pep handled the team and his coaching style. But I was a fan of Gerrard and the Reds for a while.
Aaron, concussions are a big topic right now in the NFL.
What is?
Concussions
Yeah.
are again a big topic right now in the NFL.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow talked about this week in the locker room that maybe in college he don't remember some of his games. I watched through your game logs. I saw maybe had one or two as well. Can you give me your perspective? How much the sport changed to make it safer for you, and do you think that's enough?
I do think it's enough. I just think we have to police ourselves as well and be smart about that. Players want to be out there, but we need to think about our long-term health. And I think we all know the difference between getting rocked and getting concussed. There's definitely a difference. I've had a few on the field, and there's a difference between getting nailed and going to sidelines and maybe your jaw hurts or neck's hurting a little bit and actually having a concussion. So I don't know what else the NFL can do, honestly. And I'm not always defending the NFL in every decision that they make, which I think every topic should be up for discussion. When it comes to this, there's independent people on the sidelines who are watching for those hits. There's protocol that has to happen if a guy has a ding and they got to go in the tent and be evaluated by multiple people. I think that there needs to be a closer eye on those particular plays. Obviously, watching the play with Tua back, you go back to the previous week, you saw him kind of stumble after a hit. I think we all know what was going on there. And for Tua, I understand the predicament. You want to be out there and keep playing. But we all got to think about our long-term health because we know the effects of CTE has been well documented. Now there's more research around it. But I don't know what else the league can do. They're trying to, pull guys off the field. There's, like I said, there's multiple people watching for specific head injuries. We got to police ourselves too.
Aaron, you already said you won't be coaching football after your career.
Not pros, no.
Okay,
Maybe flag football. Yeah.
on Tuesday, you had talked about.
Thanks for watching the show. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Big fan. And also about Ryan Fire, for example.
Yeah.
Can you imagine yourself playing in Europe after your NFL career, or maybe doing something else football related? Maybe.
What's the pay like?
There is a league right now in Europe, you know that?
I do.
There is a
Yeah.
European League of Football.
Yeah. I had there were some guys from Cal who I played with and that coached us that came over and did some coaching in Italy, I believe, at one point. But I brought up NFL Europe because they still had it when I was a young player, and everybody loved it. Just the opportunity to travel, to be in a different country, and then the accessibility to get to different countries when you're already over here was a great experience. Now the NFL obviously is about dollars and cents, and they were losing some money supposedly, but I thought it was great for the league because you got a great opportunity for guys after the season was over who didn't play a whole lot to get action, to show you what they could do. And I felt like the level of play was probably higher than some of these other leagues that they've been trying to put together. Not to mention, you're giving these guys real experience, where you're experiencing other cultures. I think that's the thing that we learn personally, speaking for myself. When you go to different countries and experience different cultures and foods and people and lifestyles and history, it actually brings you closer together because you realize that there's less differences between us than we might be told to think. And I think it's great if we can get our guys, like our guys that talked about, who've never been, maybe been to Canada once or Mexico once, to get them out of the country, to experience life in other places. And I think it can only help our perspective and give us that understanding how special this opportunity is that we get to do, and maybe to cherish it a little more because we are inspiring other people and even other fans in other countries.
Time for two more.
Spoke on you talked about it today, but what if you compare the league and Manchester City? Playing at Spurs Stadium last night, when the Browns, the Browns now neutral, the Browns play out.
Oh, Wembley. Yeah, I mean that's a fantastic place. But I would like to go to multiple Premier League games. But going to like City United would be kind of right at the top of the list, or watching one of my favorite bands at Wembley. Just basically anything at Wembley. Tonight will be awesome. To watch that friendly. But I think there's a lot of great venues around here. It's some of the smaller ones too. Smaller venues. The fans are so. They care about their team so much, live and die with it. And I think it's been good for the States to see a show like Ted Lasso. It's been, there's been a lot of different things that have increased the participation in soccer. And it's things like watching the documentary about City, or having some of the top players from the Premier League and some of the other leagues come over and play in the MLS. Our team, the national team, to improve a little bit better. Obviously, our women have had a great run over the years, but it's good for the sport of soccer in our country when we're exposed to a little bit more of that beautiful sport.
You mentioned the City game. Did you meet Guardiola when they came over?
I did, yeah. I got to go in the locker room and meet Holland and De Bruyne, do some jersey swaps. They got an interesting coaching staff. A lot of Spaniards on that staff are pretty damn funny, but Pep was great, and it was fun to just like have an event like that at Lambeau, where every now and then we might get, we've had some interesting concerts over the years at Lambeau, but we don't get a lot of big time acts come through our tiny town. So to have Bayern Munich and City play there was really cool for all of us.
Last one. Aaron, just some thoughts on the Giants and what you're expecting from the league and Russian attacking the league. They came up in the back end, not sure who's that.
Yeah, I think they're number one in the league in rushing, so I would assume they're going to try and shorten the game a little bit. I'm a big fan of Saquon, and Hart definitely went out to him last couple of years dealing with some serious injuries. What you're seeing now is what you saw from him in his rookie year when he led the league in yards from scrimmage. But he's a great kid, humble and hell of a player. Defensively, Wink Martindale is their coordinator. Went against him last year at Baltimore. I have a ton of respect for him. He has a unique scheme where he does a lot of different things, throws a lot of different fronts, pressures, coverages behind those pressures. So we just have to be really good in reacting, trusting our instincts post-snap. And then we got to do what we've been doing successfully. We've had halves of certain games we've really played well, and the other half has usually been pretty bad. So we got to try and put together 4 quarters and put on a show for the fans in the stadium, and hopefully it'll be predominantly green and gold.